students, we've brought in researchers, we've brought in creatives to complete the Coventry Cultural Challenge. The Coventry Cultural Challenge is very much about using all that amazing data and evidence that we generated through the UK City of Culture programme as Coventry 2021-2022 and trying to make it in a way that makes life better in Coventry. So our 5 teams have been coming out with lots and lots of ideas. Yesterday, they spent a lot of time understanding the data, just really getting to the detail of it. And today they're trying to turn that into something that is making life better in Coventry. For it to make life better in Coventry, we mean things like, how can we improve the health and well-being of people in Coventry?
And we decided to invite people from the universities, from the community, to come in to meet people they wouldn't normally meet, to have access to the latest Coventry cultural data, and to set them a challenge. We wanted them to think of ideas and proposals that were forward-thinking, that were underpinned and evidenced by the data, that were linked to Coventry and culture.
And until last week, I was heading up Coventry's Insights team at Coventry City Council. So it was my idea from the beginning, well before we were the UK City of Culture, to do something about data. Because we want to, if we are to make an economy that is digitally enabled and underpinned by data, we should make that data open so that people can make use of it for their own business's purpose, for whatever they want to use it for.
We've got a lot of cultural data within Coventry that tells us the story of Coventry, its people, the trends of Coventry and their participation within cultural activities. So we wanted to introduce that to the public more widely than it's already known. We've brought together these teams who have developed their skills personally, and I've seen them grow over the course of a weekend. And we will have some ideas that we can share on a wider level within different communities and decision makers of Coventry.
Coventry is a city with a huge potential. Often it's untapped. So people at the 2 universities at the very forefront of that research should be talking to each other a bit more. Today we're making that happen because if we have brought people from universities and from our culture sectors together.
The reason it's been so good is because we've brought all these teams together. For so long they were just applicants and names on the spreadsheet, and this weekend they've become real people, and real people that I think are so good, so talented, that the future of Coventry is in safe hands.
As a result of bringing these people together, we hope that this is only the beginning of something that's going to be much bigger.
We wanted all of the ideas and proposals to relate to culture, and with the view to making life better in Coventry. Culture and heritage is so often undervalued, but it actually can be really beneficial for communities and society to bring people together, the appreciation of who they are, their histories, their communities, and it can help to increase their self-esteem and build their skills. So I would like to promote culture as a result of these kind of events.
We looked at the data for mental well-being, and what we noticed is that the low levels of mental well-being were reported in Fozo and St. Michael's.
We want to concentrate on communities, and through those communities we want to use them as a platform. When I say communities, it's the community centers in Coventry. We want to use them as a platform to train the people of Coventry in the skills that they are interested in.
Different communities together by using culture as a source, by bringing culture to them instead of them coming to us, by introducing culture as a service.
We have got a panel of judges here representing our businesses. They've got people representing our cultural communities and academics and actually public health consultant as well. And this allows us to evaluate the extent to which some of these proposals achieve our aim of making life better in Coventry.
So my name is Claire Mitchell and I work in the cultural sector. So I freelance and also I work for lots of cultural organisations, usually around social practice and social impact. And my interest in this area is that I I have a strong relationship with Coventry, and I'm really interested in how the culture and the data can come together to improve outcomes for people that live here.
So my name's Sarah Windram. I am the chair of Coventry and Warwickshire Local Enterprise Partnership. So we're primarily responsible for economic development in the Coventry and Warwickshire area.
I think what I've seen today is some really interesting nuggets of ideas based on the data, and some really interesting ways of bringing the data together. And that's been really exciting. I think what would have been really nice actually would to see more cultural people with cultural backgrounds engaged in the event itself, because I think it's quite hard, obviously, for data analysts to understand how culture works because they don't live in that world. So extending that would have been really great, actually, and we could have driven that even harder. But some fantastic responses so far, and certainly ideas that I'm excited about as a cultural development.
And 5 key aspects seem to pop up over and over again between academic sources and also non-academic sources. Those were food, any form of creativity, so music, performance and art, traditions and mythologies, language, and then clothing. The most easily shareable and interactive aspect of all of these was food, so we've chosen to use that as the basis of cultural events.
It's Share a Plate, Share a Story is what we're pitching to you, a series of community-engaged, artist-led events bringing different groups together to share food and cultural traditions to cross boundaries. Each event would engage a community location and network in that location that exists already as a gatekeeper, plus one or more local artists as creative facilitators for the events. The groups that we focus on might be based on ethnicity, given the higher ethnic minority populations in some of those 6 areas.
I really loved the cultural challenge today. I think some of the new thinking and the new ideas that have come out of the groups has been really, thought-provoking and insightful. I think the data that they've had, obviously, they've all kind of identified different challenges within the data that they've seen and that they've been able to use. So yeah, it's been really exciting to be part of it.
So it was really difficult. It was a tough decision in there, trying to work out who might come on top and which ideas we favoured, because they all have such different strengths. I think for me, what I was looking for was the strength of the relationship to the cultural sector, which, as we've already talked about, perhaps having some more cultural providers in the room would have really helped, I think, because some of that understanding wasn't quite there. But I think what has come out is really exciting. There's some really great nuggets of ideas that could be put into practice. And it would be really great, if possible, to take any of those through to a proper feasibility and more conversations with the sector about where that might sit, how that might work, what that might look like in real life practice, and all the things that sort of spin out from that, really. So.
The deliberation was really tough. I mean, you'll notice the scores are all very close. All the groups identified, as I say, a different area, a different kind of challenge, and they all had, an interesting solution to tackle that. We just felt, I guess, some of them had worked up the solutions to a greater extent than others, but that, every single team had a nugget of an idea that we feel we could potentially take forward.
What I do is take those ideas to a forum where we could specifically invite partners that work in the various interest sectors that the groups have talked about, as well as cultural providers who might have an interest in that, and really bash through some of those ideas about how we turn that into real practice, so that we could then develop programmes that we could test and pilot, and then look at how we learn from that first iteration and take it into further development, really, and perhaps crunch some more data, because I think things have changed so much over the past 3 or 4 years, the whole COVID thing, and City of Culture work, fantastic as it was, it will shift and change now. So we need to get back to, okay, what does real life look like in the city, and maybe start really testing some of those ideas.
I think it would be brilliant to see if we could form some teams around those, if we could certainly keep the students, particularly and the other participants today, involved in what we might do with that. I guess I don't want to say too much about the ideas, but certainly from my own perspective, there were some really exciting ones that were using machine learning and predictive analytics that certainly got me interested. So it would be great to see business and our regional economy play an active role in some of these ideas.
So I'm Suraj. I did my master's in Warwick Business School, and I recently graduated. I will be commencing employment soon. And last couple of weeks was actually fantastic. We could come up with a team. We were focusing on how to tackle problem using data, how to use culture and other scenarios and other basic settings to come over here and present ourselves. But when we came over here, the team provided us with many icebreaker talks. We could understand what basically they want, and it was very smooth. We had an expectation that it would be very intense, though we did put an intense show, but it was very easy us to catch those good vibes and also come up with good networking skills and also present it in a smooth way.
It's a student city, so we need to focus on the fact that everybody integrates, everybody knows what's happening, and so that all the students who are studying here actually stay here as well.
With this, I think it's the right time to segue a bit into the solutions that we can offer.
I have learned many things. First off is how to structure your work, how to think out of the box, and especially the SWOT analysis we did first. What are the opportunities that is there in Coventry? What are the threats being faced in Coventry in terms of technical and expertise capabilities. So these are the things which I learned, and personally I think I learned how to manage time well with a task and how to come up with a solution. We picked up something called culture as a service. So it's like people not going to people as a people. I'm not going to a place and enjoying the culture, whereas culture is reaching me back to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna analyze more data on deeper level. We're gonna see what are the possible future which lies in this. We're gonna work in future scopes, like how can we make people subscribe with this challenge, and we're gonna also work on what we thought were our weaknesses.
Say that the winners, who will each receive a £30 shopping voucher for each member of the team, is the data slackers. So I'm not sure who's next.